All right, we are live. Yes. Okay, man. What a day! 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 I swear, today all day, like my patience has been being tested. You know. I wonder if the thing still records when I turn my screen off. Cause I've been doing a horrible job with keeping my stuff. Okay, cool. It is still recording. Awesome. Oh man, that's so much better. I swear I love this freaking recording app. But anyway, yeah. And the thing is, see, I know why I've had a day just full of me just running through the pressure, just fighting through it. It's because, see, your body has a natural rhythm, right? Where it'll wake you up. That's your body telling you it's time to go, time to get up, time to go, time to get up, time to get stuff done. But naturally, sometimes, our bodies, it needs an extra push, And I didn't start pushing till geez Louise. I had enough time to go to the gym in the very beginning of the day and everything. But instead, I just wanted to lay there and just kind of chillax and, just kind of waste a bunch of time. Because I don't know, it was harder for me to get up today. Very hard. And it's basically because I constantly stay mobile all the time. Sometimes those days happen where I just feel so heavy. It's just But the thing is I could have got up. I could have. I know that I could have. I acknowledge that I could have. I even planned mentally on going to the gym early today. But the thing is man, I just didn't want to deal with it. Didn't want to deal with it. And that was the negative side of my mind saying I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. And I let that take over for a bit. And I was just I'll just sit here and watch Bob's Burgers. And that's what I did. I just watched Bob's Burgers. And till it was time for me to... Well, I left my apartment early because I did have to go to Walmart to go pick up some food. But other than that, I could have. I woke up at 1. I went to bed around 8, woke up at 1. And I could have gotten up, went to the gym, socialized and everything, but I just didn't have it in me today. I just didn't want to, But when you have moments like that, you have to push through, you have to fight through, because trust me, I'm always on the go. I'm always mobile. But today I just didn't feel like doing it. And guess what's happening? I'm suffering the repercussions of it. I'm suffering from it, That's why today was just more of a drag. You got to remember, how you start your day is what is going to be the outcome of the rest of your day. So if you start your day off like a bum, what do you think's... Oh, dude, you need a flashlight, bro. Jeez Louise. Oy vey. Okay. But, yeah. Yeah, the way you start your day off, that's going to be the outcome of the rest of your day. So that's why it's very important to constantly stay mobile. It's just, today I just did not want to be mobile. And I know that when it hit 4 o'clock, I'm all right, Walmart time. I got right up, got my clothes on, head out. No, I didn't struggle or nothing. See, I can easily do it, no problem. But the thing is I don't know. I just didn't want to deal. I didn't want to deal. So guess what happened with me, refusing to deal with, everything. Guess what happened? My patience has been tested all day today. All my calls today were just people just going on and on and on and on and on. And I'm just I'm having to force myself to be patient when my brain feels like it's about to explode. You see, if I would have started my day off and just got up, went to the gym and everything, socialized, got it started off on a good foot, I wouldn't have had those problems. So you always got to remember the effort that you put in the very beginning of the day that you were given, that is going to be what you suffer from the rest of the day. That's going to be what you're going to get the rest of your day. You always got to make sure you get off on the right foot and that you're able to, prove to the day that you can take on whatever obstacles it has for you. And you just proceed from there. But even like when I did get up at 4, I acknowledged that I need food to eat because I literally had nothing. So, like, well, I do got to get up. So I got up real quick and left, because I needed to make it to work on time. But always just keep that in mind. Also, but I know that it can be tough. It can be tough. You just got to fight through it, Some days are going to be harder than others, but you got to fight through it and just keep that positive stride. That's all you can do. As long as you can acknowledge that you're progressing, you're fine. You see, it takes a lot of self-acknowledgement to be able to acknowledge the reason why you had the day that you had. Of course, I ended it on a positive note. I fought through the whole day because I take full responsibility that I was a slacker when I got up today. I just didn't feel like doing it today. Just didn't feel like doing it. I do it every day. I'm just like, I just don't feel like doing it. Because I really don't take any rest breaks. I really don't. I really, really don't. Because if I take a rest break, then I start to feel restless, and I just, I just don't want to be restless. I don't want, I just want to be continuously progressing, That's the only thing that I'm focused on. Just continuously progressing. Continuous progress. That's all I'm wanting. So that's why I'm always staying mobile, always on the move, That's why it's very difficult for a lot of people to even keep up with me, because I'm just always on the go. Always go, 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 go. I've even heard it from my mom, James, you're going to overdo yourself. You're going to overdo it. And I tell you, one day I freaking did. I don't even know if I spoke about it on the podcast, but there was a time I was at the gym and I saw black for a solid second. Like, I had to cut my workout, just completely off because I was eating very horrible. That's when I was doing the Little Debbies. I was eating too many Little Debbies with so much change going on, and I'm trying to transition jobs and everything, and I'm trying to get everything done for the other job that I want to go to, and it was just so much to take in, and it's just like I need some feel-good food on the side. That feel-good food will catch you up. Because I was eating 4 Little Debbies in one sitting, real talk, yes, really. But but I'm fine now. I'm timing when I eat and everything. Now I'm back to strict fasting and just keeping it at that, because that was really scary. It was really scary, because here I am at the gym trying to progress myself. But how can you expect to progress when you're eating like crap? You ain't gonna progress from that. You're gonna snap. It's kind of like what the bodybuilder C.T. Fletcher talks about, because when he was a huge power lifter, he was eating nothing but junk food, but now he has metal plates in his heart that he has to get replaced and everything, all that stuff. And he has to get that replaced every so many years that go by. He has to get that heart changed out. So every time he dies and comes back to life, basically. And that's why he is such an inspiration to me. He don't let death stop him. Death ain't going to stop him. He puts death in his place. And that's kind of what I strive to do, But actually, I look at death my outlook on death is it's just, he's my friend. He's my motivator. He keeps me moving. I know that when he comes, it's going to be the most comforting experience that I'll ever face, and I honestly don't want to fight back. I fight to live, to experience life, to experience what suffering really feels like, and I put up with it every single day. But, when death comes, that's supposed to be a reward to you. That's supposed to be the comfort. You take it in with open arms, and, you just accept it. This is my time. I don't have to fight no more, because that's all life is. It's just nothing but fighting. But you can either fight, to do good, or you can just stay content and comforted, and just deal with all kinds of suffering in the environment that you're going to be in, but you're going to have to depend on things to mask it so it doesn't affect you. It's nothing but fight. That's all it is. That's all life is. It's just for you to experience what life is. Because when death comes, you will no longer be able to do what you have been doing. Because with death, that stuff's not there. You're not going to be able to feel. You're not going to be able to touch. You're not going to be able to smell. You're not going to be able to do none of that. There's no more fight. There's nothing to cause any stress. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing, And honestly, that's why life is nothing but work. It's nothing but effort, and it's nothing but making an impact. Like I said, life is just a complete test. It's a test on what you can take, and you have been chosen to live. So you got the strength. You just got to put in the effort. That's all it is. But you got to remember, your effort is going to be completely different from someone else's effort, because we are all on an individual path, We all are not on the same journey. We're not. Life is not here to enjoy. Life is, it's the definition of enjoy, basically. It's a whole different thing. Like when you get really deep into the law of attraction and all that stuff, start reading more deep into it and start reading on meanings of how to enjoy. Like, for example, there was this one guy who I met. He was an older guy, and he knew law of attraction really, really good. And I don't know, there was one time he said something to me at work. I was like, "Oh man, you in the law of attraction and all that stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, you are too?" And I was like, "Yeah." And, I told him the one book that I read on it, and it was The Key of Law of Attraction or something like that. For a while, I posted on my Instagram for a while, because that was my go-to. I love that book. It changed my outlook on a lot. But man, this guy has read many books. Many books. He did list some authors that I knew, but it was very minimum, very little that I knew. Like, I've seen quotes by the authors and stuff like that, but, he was listing all these books and stuff, and then every time I said, "No, I don't know that. No, I don't know that. No, I don't know," he was just like, "Man, you got a lot to read," because, there's a lot into this. There's a lot into this. Like, he was telling me, like, how to basically enjoy life. I know I met him for a reason, because he did teach me, like, how to really find the beauty in life. Like, for example, one thing that he told me was like, "Man, okay, so when you see a sunset, to you it's beautiful, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's beautiful." And he was like, "Not to me. What's beautiful to me is how long it takes for your eyes to correspond to what that beautiful image is that you're seeing." Like, he really looks into the details of things. And like, he was like, "When you take a shower, it feels good, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "Wrong. See, whenever you are in the shower, you want to focus on how long is it taken for your body to respond to such a wonderful touch. When you get that soap, you want to pay attention to the textures and go to every detail and just try to feel every nook and cranny of the soap, and just take in the smell and just see how long it takes for the smell to actually go through, and just really paying attention and observing to the small details of things in life that just go ignored." Because when he broke that down for me and stuff, you don't get that stuff in death. You don't get to hold. You don't get to smell. You don't get none of that. It's done. It's done. So that's why life is so precious, that you need to enjoy every minute of suffering. And when you find some joy, you need to learn to find joy in the simplicity of life, because you're going to find it's the simplistic things that really bring the joy and really bring the impact in life, not the complex, materialism and stuff, because with materialism, you're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be satisfied. You're going to work your butt off with all this materialism and all this stuff, and then you're going to realize when you're on your deathbed, like, well, where are you going to take it? Well, you worked your butt off, man. You worked your butt off. That's your impact. Just a bunch of trucks and all that other stuff, boats and yacht boat and like just all kinds of stuff like that. That's what's up. You're leaving your mark. That's what you're leaving, man. You're just leaving responsibility for one of your family members to take up on, and then they got to be responsible for all the stuff that you left. See, I just want to leave with like nothing. Just leave with nothing, because that's what I mean. I've been obsessed with minimalism like so much, because it really does, the less you have, the less things you have to be responsible for. The more things that you have, the more you have to be responsible for. For example, say you got your first apartment. You're going to be furnishing it up. Decor, all that stuff. You're hitting all these home decor stores. You're making it look fancy. Listen, all you're doing is making a prison inside your apartment. You're wanting to make comfortable. You're wanting to make a confined space. You're making isolation look good. Listen, we are here to live, not to be confined. So quit making comfort. That is only there to sleep. That you're only there to sleep. Life is going constantly, but if you stay secluded and reclusive in your confined space of Netflix marathons and all that stuff, life is continuously going while you're imprisoning yourself. You need to be working on yourself daily. Always work on yourself daily, man. Always. You're still alive. You're still breathing. You take in that deep breath. You got to go fight another day, life is built to condition. That is all it is. And what you can do with the valuable time that you have here and the impact that you choose to make, that is what defines your persona and impact that you leave when it's time to go. So really think about it, man. Really think about it. What have you done to progress? If you were to go tomorrow, would you say, man, I'm proud of how I lived. I'm proud of how I lived. I'm proud of how I live. I made an impact. Did you really, though? Or were you just constantly escaping reality and the life and time that was given to you? See, people don't understand how valuable time is until they're faced with it. Until death is looking at them and there's no return, Because when death comes, you're going. There ain't no fight. There ain't no, just give me another chance. Listen, I can turn my life around. Just, because I know, because for example, I used to suffer from severe paranoia. There was always times I thought I was dying. There's always times I thought a killer was outside my house. I remember when I was a kid, and I remember thinking my killer was outside my house at 4 a.m, and I was outside looking for my killer. And I was trying to protect my family and stuff like that. That's how paranoid I was. All the time. I was so paranoid. All the time. And, and the thing is see, I wasted all that time, of my own horrific illusions, their delusional mind, whatever you want to call it. I wasted so much time on that. But the thing is that's what made me who I am, though. And that's what helped me learn the value of death, because I was honestly scared. I was honestly in fear of death as a young kid, because that's how we're conditioned at a young age. We are pretty much taught to fear what we can't control, when really we should be able to respond to what we can control. And death is one of those things that you cannot control, but you can control your response to it. You can control the way you live your life so it doesn't come fast. But death is going to come. That's just reality. That's a reality check for you. But how you live and how you respond, now you might not be able to control death, but you can control your reaction to death. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. People can say that I'm a depressing person all they want, but shoot, death has motivated me more than anything, really. Besides the people that, and that's one thing that I broke down the scum too, I only buy those support videos. I only get those support videos from people who really, really inspire me. Like, I ain't gonna get no support video from people, who don't really inspire me. Like, I'm not just gonna be buying like all kinds of videos and stuff like that from people who don't inspire me. I'm wanting to, the pages that I follow that continue to keep me motivated, I want to get them, on my bandwagon, because they inspire me every day. Like, there's been times where I've just been feeling down in the dumps. Luckily my caseworker, she taught me how to use social media properly, because I'm not going to lie, your boy was a fucking pervert. Before my caseworker got involved with my social media and helped me learn how to do it, your boy was a pervert, following all these women and all that stuff, just looking at all these Instagram models and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I was one of those. I was a fucking pervert, yo. For real. And my caseworker, she was looking at that. She's like, James, you're not going to progress any if you this is how you use social media. And I'm like, well, what do you suggest? She's like, you need to look at more positive things. This isn't positive. This is just going to help you find comfort in your phone, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is you're looking at, women like meat and blah, 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 blah. And, you know what perversion is. And don't be stupid either, because you know dang well what it is. But yeah, that's how it was for me. I was fucking porn addict. I was a pervert. Like, I had a bunch of fucking problems. And, now it's all been corrected. And now, like, there's been times where, like, I remember when I had my bed, like, shoot, I would be bedridden, just depressed, and just staying in my bed, and, and scrolling through, reading all these positive quotes until one just hits me. And sometimes, like, it's a CT Fletcher video that he gets me up, heading to the gym. Like, it's just that one post that could change your day for that day. That's why you want to control. You want to get rid of any kind of distractions. And one thing that I was in deep thought about today was basically like just lust in general. Lust, how we focus on the beauty of the physical. Like, it's nothing but a decorated trap. It's a decorated trap to prevent you from progressing. Because eventually, say you get that decorated trap, say you get it, right? You're eventually going to get bored from it, because you're going to be seeing it slowly be removed. You're going to see, as you get more comfortable with that individual, you're going to see that they are starting to change. They're starting to be what you didn't get. You done obtained what you got and you saw it was a lie. That's because that's all we are in life. We're just nothing but a bunch of liars. We lie about who we are to impress. And when we impress, we get. We get to obtain. And that's one thing that I really don't like, is how people date for ownership. I don't understand that. I don't understand it at all. Like, man, like, for example, like when you see those Facebook pages and it's like, I don't know, I'm just going to say a name like out of nowhere. It's like Kayla and Jason, Morsamani or something like that, like their last name, but it's the first name. It's like Kayla and Jason. It's like, man, see, you don't want to get into a fucking relationship like that. No way, Jose. Like, that's one thing that I have found, like, within reality. It's like all relationships are just crippling your mental health, and you're just conditioning yourself to stay and maintain for a relationship that is basically just bad for you. And that's the problem. A lot of relationships are going to be horrible. It's like every single one is just horrible because we're taught at a young age to escape. We're taught at a young age to escape. Like, instead of face reality and learn to find joy within the present day, we're not taught any of that. We're not taught any of that. Everyone's too fixated on the future and the past, and we're taught that. We're taught that by our own parentals and guardians and, adults and all that stuff. That's what they teach you, to be focused on the past and focused on the future. Like for example, like what's drilled in your head, like when you're in school as a kid? Make them good grades. You want to get a good job. You want to get good income. It's like, I'm a kid. I don't have income. I don't have none of that. We don't let our kids enjoy life. We structure them and condition them to survive a life that they don't even live, And then when we get out of school, it ain't even nothing that we were taught. It ain't even nothing that we were taught. And yet y'all wonder why the homeless situation never goes away, because we condition it that way. And the thing is those people that are homeless, those are the ones that woke up. But the thing is they don't know how to get out of what was conditioned, because your brain develops for so long during the developing stage until it's just lock and key. I've already learned majority. I think I'm good. And then when you're taken out of the structure, boom. What the heck? What did I just get dropped off into? You're shocked. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how reality. For example, man, when I was homeless, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. Like, I had $10,000 that I saved up from living with my parents. I didn't know nothing about reality, and I was homeless. So what do you think I was doing? I'm trying to make means. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, So, I spent like money in the motels. That took a lot of money, just trying to survive, and then eventually just lived outside Walmart. I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do. And I tell you this, I was fucking scared. I was fucking scared every minute. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. All I know is I was just trying to think about things that I knew. And one of the things that I knew was when my ex, me and her were going out, she worked at a hotel, and there were actual people who lived in hotels. And I was like, well, I do know that, and I know how that works. Okay, I know how that works. But see, I didn't know anything about like getting an apartment. I didn't know nothing about any of that. I didn't know none of that. So pretty much when I ran out of cash, I had no choice. Walmart. That's it. Go to Walmart. That's what I mean. Those motels and stuff, they'll eat your money up. That stuff ain't cheap. But that's what I mean. We teach our kids to save their money, blah, 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 and all that, blah, blah, blah. But then when reality is faced, say they kick you out of the nest, like, man, it's like, you mean to tell me you told me to save my money and everything, but then you just kicked me out into a world that I don't even know? Like, thank you for me. Thank myself for just staying on top of getting help. Because even though it was hard, because I tell you, one thing on it that really fucked me up was like, my caseworker knew that I was homeless, okay? She knew that I was homeless. And I was like, I need housing and stuff. But she was like, James, the only way you're going to get housing is like if you stay at a shelter. But the thing is, see, my mental health was so bad. Like, my paranoia was terrifying. Like, and I told her that I really did not want to go into a shelter, because you have to do like a certain percentage of like time at a shelter before they get you into a housing. And I couldn't do no shelter. I could not. My mental was just far too severe. And I was like, I can't do that. I really cannot do that. And I mean, like, She said back then, like, they used to be able to, like, you know, tell that you were living in your car and you're homeless, you know. But the thing is they can't do that no more. And it's like, and y'all wonder why we have such a big homeless problem. Like, I was literally acknowledging, for my mental health, my mental well-being, a shelter wouldn't do no good for me. It would not do no good for my paranoia. I would be in a manic episode around, so I would be paranoid of everybody. Like, it wasn't good. That's kind of why I have problems with even thinking about the subject matter of roommates. I don't want to test it. Even though, yes, I know that I'm fine now. I know that I have it under control now. But I don't want to test it. I don't want to test it. I don't want to test it. I don't want to test, like, even, because that's where it all starts, you know. I start to feel like a burden. You know, of course, now I know how I know how I would respond to it now. Just go to the gym. Just like my caseworker said, anytime you feel yourself going on a mental decline or anything, you go to the gym. You go to the gym. Go to the gym, no matter what you're feeling. Go to the gym, no matter what time of day. It's 24 hours. Go to the gym. But see, back then, like, say I wasn't to get help, I would be reclusive. I wouldn't know what to do. Just be reclusive, start to feel like I'm a burden, and then just literally go down the list of everything that could be a burden to the roommate, and then eventually, till I meet my breaking point and snap, you know? That's how it is, you know? But see, man, I'm so thankful that I just stayed on the grind. Stayed while I was homeless. You know, luckily, I remember one of my friends, she let me stay on her couch until my caseworker just had got me caught up. Because, like, I mean, I was bringing toys into work and everything. Like, I mean, I was just, you know, like, I really needed to mentally catch up. You know, but I got there though. I got there. It took a lot of time. You know, and it just really shows how fragile the mind is. You know, how much you can really, really just rip apart a child. You know, you can just rip apart a child real quick because they're that sensitive. You know, they become stable within the conditions, but then when high school ends and everything, you end up seeing that it was all just a profit, like a profit, you know. For example, you know, the ROTC thing that I was involved in high school, you know, that was supposed to be a good thing, right? You know, without that, there was fucking bullying up in that. There's bullying in fucking school, period. You know, I ain't name dropping. Y'all already know who the fuck I'm talking about too, because I probably name dropped them before. I don't care. But the thing is, man, it was no escape. It was no escape. You can't escape nothing. Not in school. It always catches you. Always catches you. But the thing that really bugged me is when I was done, because you see, when you're in ROTC, they expect you to get enrolled in the military. You see, when you take that advantage and you get enrolled in the military through that ROTC, well, guess what? Those teachers who were in that ROTC, they get a cut. They get a percentage, you know. And if you don't do the military, because I honestly didn't, because I was honestly too scared. Like, I'm too scared. Like, no, I'm too scared. No, and I remember he kept coming up to me like, come on, James, like, this would be a big deal. Like, you would go in at this rank, getting this money, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I'm too scared. I'm too scared. Like, no, I'm too scared. Like, and then, like, after like a couple years of, like, freaking out, you know, going to college and then dropping out because computers were my escape from my reality, you know, not. And the thing was, to see, I never had a problem with programming and stuff. My problem was hardware. And my last class was hardware. And I knew that it was coming. And I'm like, if computers are my job, what's going to be escape from my job? Then I just dropped out. I'm like, I can't. See, and that's the thing. And then we're forced to we're conditioned to stay. And it's like, but yet at the time, like, one thing that really, blows my mind is, see, a lot of your parents, a lot of your guardians, a lot of all that, they lead by example, but they think that their words lead you. Like, now, boy, I don't want you drinking or having a drug problem. But then you look. Mommy and Daddy, don't you have a drug and an alcohol problem? Yes, I do. But you don't. What? But I look up to you. Well, how about you look up to the words that are coming out of my mouth instead of what I'm doing? That's how they think that stuff works. Like, if you're going to lead the kid, you need to lead by example. That's what a leader is, period. You want your kids to stay in school. Did you stay in school? Oh, you didn't? Oh. Well, why not? Oh. So you're basically saying when life hands me a lot of problems, I do the same thing, right? No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, we're drilled. It's nothing but a big bowl of hypocrisy. That's all it is. It's just a big bowl of hypocrisy. You got hypocrites raising innocent children, turning them into hypocrites. Like, this is not how this is supposed to go. It's not how it's supposed to go. And yet you guys wonder why kids say the darndest things. Kids say the darndest thing because they are a mirror to what you need to work on. Period. Period. I swear, man, life has a lot to fucking work on. I tell you that. They have a lot of to work on. Tell you that. Oh, man, I'm so glad I'm off tomorrow. I'm so glad. Man. Yep. Gonna be heading up to Illinois. Gonna be heading up to Illinois soon. And get to see my best friend. Man, we might do a live podcast. Yeah, that'd be fun. I think me and Grandma are gonna do that. Get to see my best friend. Yep, we're gonna be looking at places for assisted living. So Mama wants me to be a part of that. So I want to be there for my best friend. I want my grandma to at least see me. See me, hang out with me. I know we got to do a Dunkin' Donuts trip because my grandma loves Dunkin' Donuts. I remember when I was up in Illinois, we went to Dunkin' Donuts, and guess what was playing on the radio? It was Backstreet Boys. My grandma loves Backstreet Boys, so I could tell Grandma liked the song, but she didn't want to. She didn't want to. She was just enjoying her coffee and just listening. But then I started singing because I could tell Grandma wanted to sing. So when I started singing, then Grandma started singing, and Aunt Jean was just looking at us, just laughing. Aunt Jean was getting all into it too. It was all so fun. I love taking my grandma out. I remember when she came down to Georgia, and I worked my butt off. I saved up a bunch of money. This was when I was living with my parents. I saved up a bunch of money to spoil her when she came down, took her out. I remember when I took her to Dairy Queen, I went to go get a burger. Now, this was when I was eating meat. I went to go get a burger. My favorite thing was the flamethrower at Dairy Queen, because I loved everything with spice and kick and all that stuff. But, Grandma's going to order shrimp at Dairy Queen. And I just looked at her. I'm like, Grandma, who comes to Dairy Queen for the shrimp? Who comes to Dairy Queen for the shrimp? And then on top of that, we're eating. I'm finishing my burger and stuff, I'm like, Grandma, so how's that shrimp? She's like, it's all right. And I'm like, exactly. Who comes to Dairy Queen for shrimp? Yeah, that's my best friend, though, right there. That's my best friend. She's been there for me. Been there for a lot, When I was in hell, rock bottom, She was always there. Even though she lived out of state, she did her best to be there, you know. I remember when, when I was homeless, every time I checked on her to make sure she was taking her medicine and stuff, she didn't want to get off the phone till I went to sleep. Like, because she was just that worried about me, you know. She stuck with me. She stayed with me. You know, when she knew that I didn't have no support, I didn't have nothing but advantage. And I could, my sessions were, throughout the week. But that only does so much, you know. That's what I mean. You have to suffer through life in order to progress. If you don't suffer, you're not living. If you're just comfortable and content and just happy-go-lucky, like, what are you doing to progress as a person? Nothing, just doing the same old thing, just constantly escaping from things and all that stuff, just constantly escaping, just keeping myself happy, And it's like, yeah, but what are you doing to progress as an individual? Just doing the same old thing, just doing the same thing to escape, blah, 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 just doing the same thing, blah, blah, blah. Because that's all it is. That's all majority of people do. Don't shine that light on me, please. I'm just saying ahead of time. Do not. The work truck's back. He's back. And for some reason, he just gets into a point to where he likes to position his truck this certain, and it shines right on my car. And it's just like, pfft. Excuse you, mister, can't you see I'm kind of, keeping myself company real quick? Like, can you please respect that? But, yeah. That's my grandma's my best friend, though. That's why we did podcast together. That's why she did the podcast even though she didn't like the podcast. She just liked seeing me happy, She just liked me being myself all the time. My grandma accepted me for who I am. And my she's the only one that I can really be my full-blown self with. Like, just for real. It's like, and I love that. I love that, like, if I'm just feeling super good and I'm just on a repetitive tick nonstop, my grandma will encourage and she will just go with the flow with it, because she just likes seeing me happy, And that's great. She's always been there for me. Even when she's out of state, she's always just been there for me. Through the hells that I went through, there's been a lot of progress in my family, It's like my grandma did what she had to do, to be there for me, And now reality comes, because you know what they say when your teacher, when the person that was there for you during your time of suffering, they're only they're here for a reason. They're put in their predicaments for a reason. They're put in that situation with you for a reason. But eventually, things are going to start changing. Things are going to start progressing better in your life. You're going to stop calling as much. You're going to stop, checking in as much. And then eventually, you have to get used to just living with their absence, Because that's why we're here. We're just here on a mission, And for ones that have been in a corrupt position for so long, life adjusts them to benefit others in a way to set an example to continue to stay on the right path. It's like, for example, like a kid who can literally identify that drugs and alcohol is a very bad road to go down, even though majority say it's good, it's good for me and blah, blah, blah. See here, Mama messaged me. Let me see here real quick. Can I get off of this thing? I don't even know if I can get off this thing while it's recording. If I even want to chance it. It's not totally like the other. Wasn't was black. Small sperm. Okay. Dang, mama messes me a lot. Gotta look at that. See, that's another thing too. Like, swear, my relationship with my family, man, it's been a whole different ball game. You know, it didn't used to always be like that though. Didn't used to always be like that. Even my mom is adapting to, you know, the tattoos, the piercings. You know? I remember her face when I just, you know, was just speaking, and I'm like, I was saying, yeah, Mom, I'm waiting for my nose to heal before I like do any kind of silicone or anything. She's like, heal? You've been having that septum in your nose for months. How long does it take for one of those to heal? And I'm like, well, I mean, I kind of stretched it. And she's like, stretched? When did you stretch it? And I'm like, a couple days ago. And Mom's face was just like, it looked like a deer in headlights. Like, but she's adjusting. She didn't say anything bad. And I'm like, Mom, you wouldn't even been able to tell. Because all I do is got this thing of metal in there. I got a plug in right now. So I like the plug. It looks like I'm hiding a secret. But you know, when I get big enough, you know, just might surprise, and then bam, got a big old thing of metal in my nose. You know, but I kind of like the plug. It's comfortable. I'm doing what I'm doing. See, my goal right now is I want to get to a point to where I can wear silicone and make it look really awesome. Like, I want the very pretty silicone stuff, you know. I got the picture in my head of what I'm wanting, you know. But you cannot wear it in a 4. You cannot wear it in a 4. Don't even try. I mean, yeah, you can shove it in there and whatnot, but man, that's going to be, it's going to be insane to remove. And I learned the hard way with some O-rings that I had, because one of those got stuck in my nose. Like, man, because your hair is like, it catches on alien stuff that's in your nose. That's why it's there. And it caught one of the rubber bands, the O-rings. It caught one of them. And I started freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I tried to get it out, and I couldn't get it out. It kept going further back. And I'm like, holy mackerel. I'm freaking out. And I start to get paranoid, and I have to correct myself to calm myself down. Because, see, that's my problem. Like, I get paranoid. Back in the day, man, I used to be paranoid. I was dying all the time. I'm a little kid, and I think I'm dying all the time. Like, I was always thinking I was dying all the time. Like, and like, geez Louise, man, I remember like, Mama would always be like, James, you're too young to be thinking this way. You're too young to be thinking this way. I'm like, Mom, I really think I'm dying. Like, I really think I'm dying. Like I always had those issues as a kid. Like, and I mean, I would get myself worked up. Like, I remember, I'll never forget those nights when, you know, I got back from the hospital and they had me on these pills. It was specifically Seroquel and Zoloft, and Seroquel hits like a freaking trank. Like, and I was so scared. I hated the Seroquel, and every single night it was the same thing. When my body starts to get tired, I'd be yelling and screaming. Just yelling and screaming because I didn't want to die. And like, Mom would have to sit at the end of my bed until I eventually just passed out. But I would be fighting every minute of it. You know dang well that was bad on my heart. I know dang well it was bad on my heart. Man, I've got some fucking problems, and sometimes I'm surprised on like, I'm surprised that I could still hear. I really am. I don't know how. Like, with my addiction to stabbing my ears, like, I have no idea how I can hear. I have no idea. Like, am I going to let a motherfucker look in my ear? Hell no. Because I know they're in fucking bad condition. I already fucking know. But it's like, how do I still have such great, excellent hearing? I don't even know. Like, how? How? I don't know, man. Body's a fucking crazy obstacle. But yeah. That's the only addiction that I still really badly struggle with, because that's more on the forms of mutilation, and mutilation is hard to break as it is. But something that's abnormal as that, because I even remember when I was with my caseworker, and I told her, listen, I have because when she found out that I was a porn addict, because I was, hiding all that completely, because, I used to be embarrassed from it, And then, but later on, she's looking back at documents. He says, James, you shouldn't be having these problems that you're having. There's something you're not telling me. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I just broke down to her. I just told her. Because, as you continue to do an addiction, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Eventually, the professionals that are helping you, they're going to be able to identify something's not right. But they're not going to be able to tell you what it is until you tell them. But they can pinpoint something ain't right. There's something you're not telling me. And I'll never forget that. And I'm like, okay, there is something I'm not telling you, and I'm just going to tell you. I have a porn addiction. And then she's like, well, how long has this been going on? I'm like, all my life. All my fucking life. All my fucking life. Literally all my fucking life. Because I had fucking exposure to pornography as a fucking kid. Elementary school. And that's another motherfucker that really wipes out a lot of the kids' mental. Because, man, you got these damn grown-ass adults. Yeah, that's what makes a man out of you. Puts the hair on the chest, yeah. Yeah, exposed to my 4-year-old boy to this, yeah. Now, I'm not saying my dad didn't expose me to any of that. Just so y'all know, he did not. It was a babysitter. And she exposed it to me and her kid who was younger than me, But majority of parenting, that's how it is. Because I have seen it in society. Yeah, put the hair on the chest, yeah. A grown-ass man watching porn with his 4-year-old kid. Disgusting. Like, that's the typical that you hear in society. Yeah, my boy's gonna be a man. He's more manly than your kid. And then you wonder why little bitty Johnny got these empathy problems, because he don't know how to feel, because you done scolded his mind with something that he can't even handle. So he's scolded as a child, just like, like the way that I like to look at it is like, the egg, like while it's cooking, but that, just like take a butter knife and just cut off the very top of it and just leave like a thin layer and just let it just soak cooking. Like, that's kind of how I picture when you scold a child, like it's like a very thin egg that just looks unhealthy and you don't want to eat it. Like, that's what I look at it like for real. That's how I image it, scolding of the child. It's like a butter knife and you're just cutting away at it. But yeah, bullshit like that. And I'm pretty sure if you live down south, wait, you better be recording. Okay, good. And then another thing what really bugs me, and I'll tell you this, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen it. Little kids with dip. Now, I don't know if they still do. I don't know. But nowadays, it's the phones. But I remember when I was in elementary school, I remember seeing it. Kids with dip. Kids with dip cans. I can already see how the parent would be. Yeah, my boy, he gonna be a man. He gonna be a man at like 4 years old. Yeah, he dips the Copenhagen long cut. Yeah, he's a man. Yeah, check out my boy. Oh, you think you can dip? Check out my boy. Yes, my boy right there. By 6 years old, I'm gonna have him drinking. Yeah, he's gonna be a man. Yeah. Got these dysfunctional motherfucking parents raising fucking kids and they're fucking them up every single fucking second. Like, I swear we're so fucking corrupt, man. This life is so fucking corrupt, and I just want people to wake up and just see what the world we fucking live in. Like, the news is just fear-induced. Like, it's just distracting you. Hey, don't pay attention to what's going on in society. You just Just listen to what you're told. Just listen to the news. Just don't even pay attention. Don't start thinking for yourself. You can't do that. We live in a structured society, and it's structured for a reason. Do not go against what we are trying to do. It's just like, can I get a break? Can I get a break? That's another thing. Man, my peripheral at the gym, George Floyd is back on the dang news. Man, it's just like, man, I don't know what the you guys are talking about, but let the guy rest in peace. Because Grandma was telling me that the guy who killed him, making a bunch of lies up and stuff, which brought him back into the news. It's like, let the guy rest in peace. Let the guy rest in peace. Like, let him rest in peace. Like, swear, man. I swear. Oy vey. I gotta do better with keeping my phone charged, too. I have been sucking with that. But, man, this podcast has been going pretty good. No, that's what I'm getting off about the same dang time. I don't know what movie I'm gonna watch, but I know tonight, me and my friend, we were talking about Heavyweights, because I watched that today. Oh, well, I watched it last night. And the Ben Stiller character is pretty much the same character as Dodgeball. The same character. And me and him are talking about a theory about how, he went from owning the camp, and with the child abuse that went on in the camp and stuff, he fled city, and he ended up being a founder of Globo Gym. Because, okay, at the end of Heavyweights, there's a man who's talking about sending refunds to the parents. There's no need for lawsuits. It's a guy, it's Ben Stiller in a dang blonde wig with a mustache, And what's his character in the Globo Gym at Dodgeball? The big blonde wig with the handlebar mustache. Like, it's like, man, I swear they are connected. And me and my friend were just comparing the characteristics from Heavyweights to Dodgeball. Like, I mean, seriously, watch Heavyweights and then go watch Dodgeball and then watch your mind be blown. Like, it really will. Shoot, I might watch Dodgeball tonight because I watched Heavyweights last night and I already know Dodgeball is going to make me laugh because that movie, that's a movie that don't get old. It really don't get old. It's like Step Brothers. Step Brothers don't get old. Dodgeball does not get old. The 5 D's of Dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dive, dip, and dodge by Patches O'Houlihan. Never forget Dodgeball. Never, ever forget. That's such a brilliant, brilliant movie. But anyway, I'm about to be hitting the timer. But anyway, I really enjoy these podcasts. They really make me, they level me out a lot. As you can see, I got the energy now. I'm going to go up into the gym, watch a movie, and just go in my zone. And then tomorrow I'm just going to enjoy my day off and, just go from there. But, stay progressing in life, Do not be secluded to comforts of life and distractions and traps, and just continue to stay aware of reality and stay aware of the time that is being consumed by your every move. Because time is temporary. Life is temporary. So take advantage of what is given. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all stay positive. Peace.